would be if you just got out of the vac pack. If you bought something in the vac pack, opens up, it's going to smell a little bit. Give it a wash off or a pat off, leave it for half an hour because it hasn't been breathing, as it were, bacteria. It's got bacteria that hasn't been breathing, so that's where that smell's coming from. Let it breathe, let it sit, smell it after half an hour. Trust me, meat-wise, you can definitely tell if something's wrong because it's like there's a certain smell that gets the back of your nose. Fish as well, certain smell that gets the back of your nose. Normally ammonia with fish, but they say skate, all day skate. You used to be like the game. Well hung, like you've got ammonia, nice smell of ammonia to it, so that's a matured skate. It's like robbing shark, in Iceland, what's that about? No thanks. But anyway, so good smell, yeah, it shouldn't smell of much or anything at all. Kelly, what else do we have as a quality point of the chicken? Raw. Right, okay, so it's about colour, yep, so fair enough, normal chickens, happy days, pink in colour. Can we have any other colour on the chicken? Yellow. Corn fed, yeah, excellent. So if it's yellow on, it normally means it's corn fed because obviously it's diet, it's fed with maize or corn, and that then permeates the flesh itself. Corn fed, that cost me what, about £4, yeah. Corn fed, add another 2, maybe 3, maybe £4. All right, it's more expensive, a lot more expensive. Those be better. And then if you went into organics and free range, etc., price goes up. Yeah, but the difference between a free range and not so much factory, but a mass-produced one is age. Anywhere between sort of like 12 to 18 weeks for a normal chicken. The free range anywhere, so like 6 months plus because of the diet and the slowness of this development. That's where you get better flavour, better product, also better for the chicken as well. Alright, but anyways, by the by, that's another story altogether. So we had good colour. Paulina, anything else quality points wise?
No blood, no broken bones.
Brilliant, no broken bones, no damage. So basically, obviously, you know, chicken's normally slaughtered, hung up, decapitated as it's going along the line. That's reality, that's the way it happens. And unless you're natural. Never heard of a chef called Thomas Keller? Thomas Keller? No, Thomas Keller runs a restaurant called the French Laundry in Yountville in the Napa Valley. Also a restaurant called Per Se, where he's got 2 Per Se's, I think. One in New York and one in Vegas, I think. As well as other numerous restaurants. 3-star chef, one of the best chefs, one of the best respected chefs in the world. His book, The French Laundry, is a very good book, fantastic cookbook, but also he has a story of his career up until he opened the French Laundry and throughout the French Laundry years. Basically worked in a place in New York, and before he worked in this place in New York, oh, you burn the chicken, oh well, never mind, put it in bin, forget it, it's not my issue, I've made a mistake, let's start again. This place in New York, you want chicken on the menu tonight, boys? It's in the yard. Have to go out, pop it, gut it, pluck it, draw it, quarter it, cook it. Because you had to do that, you then found a massively more respect for the product because he had to go and kill it himself and he took care of it, and that's basically what started him on his process to becoming the best he can be. Like simple as that. He had to go and kill the chicken and put it on the menu. But yeah, I mean, not many places will do that, but so yeah, no broken bones, nothing like that. If it was game, it would be a different story. Because game's wild, and game, the only way you get game is by what? Hunting it, shooting it, yeah? The reality is, game don't come flowering down here and sit on the leg and kill me. And we got, and that obviously it's flying out the sky, it's going to hit the ground, it's going to have something broken. It's going to have bullet wounds, yeah? Shot wounds, and it's going to have broken bones. But chickens, ideally, shouldn't have any issues, yeah? Another quality point, please, Linda. Chicken, raw. We've had colour, we've had smell, we've had no bruising, we've had firm, yeah, what else then? What other thing would be telling me if there's something wrong with it? Any ideas? Yeah. Any ideas? Hannah?
It shouldn't be sticky.
It shouldn't be sticky. Yeah, mine's nice and dry now because I've touched it a few times, but it shouldn't be sticky. If it is sticky or slimy, that tells you a massive thing that is definitely going on. If it's got a green tinge to it, it's an issue. Yeah? So bear these things in mind. So that's it. My chicken, I'm happy with it. It's mass-produced chicken, as simple as that. Nothing wrong with it. But you know, you can get RSPCA assured. which again is still mass produced, but it's got a better life, i.e. you have to have certain criteria for it to become RSPCA assured. If you go to the supermarkets now, you'll see most chickens in supermarkets now jump on that bandwagon, getting it on RSP. It'll still be mass produced, so it's still cheap enough to be bought in bulk and paid for, so you guys get a better deal. But we had an issue for a few years of being cheap, chicken becoming very, very cheap. And the only way you can get something very, very cheap is by, and them still making the profit margin, is by cutting corners. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is what it is. Right, so I'm happy with that, good quality. Check around the feet, pock marks. Yeah, there's burn marks on the bottom of the feet. That means it's been sitting around in this old poop. That means it most probably didn't have the best of welfare and it's short life. But this is what we do, at the end of the day, that's what we work with. We work with it naturally. That's what it is. Unless you go work in a vegetarian restaurant or vegan restaurant, which is fine, nothing wrong with that either. But all I ask and all I expect of my chefs when working with me was treat with respect. Do the best for it, make the best out of it, so that whatever happened to it, I'm not a Buddhist or anything like that, but I believe in, it's had a good life, give it a good life, give it a good send-off, give it a nice, somebody's going to enjoy eating it, alright? So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to crack on, and basically because we're making a balancing with legs and breast. One breast we're going to use for the mousse, we're going to bone the legs out, and the other one I'll just show you French trimming, yeah, because obviously you don't know what French trimming means, I'll show you how to do that, alright? That's basically what we're going to do today. So we're going to do it, legs off, breasts off, French trim, crack on with that, come back, because what we need to do is get the stock on and the sauce on, key one. Yeah, so that's got to be quite important to get on fast. So first things first, we've checked, I'm happy. So for me, anyone left-handed?
Yep.
Right, so basically do the opposite.
Life more difficult than
No, it's more difficult, but you might, it's not so much this, but when we get the fish, that's when it gets a little bit confusing. Because I do it right, if you do that and do that and and you're like, well, that doesn't, you know what I mean? So we've got to work around it, but we'll get this, that's fine. So basically, like I say, you've got to take the legs out. Easiest way to do it, on the side. So it goes on its side, yeah? Then you have your like that, and you've got the taut skin, where the skin between the carcass and the leg, cut down through that, so it opens up, yeah? And basically, 2 fingers, peel it back, pop out the knuckle. You'll feel it pop out. What that does then, you've got 2 oysters here. They call the oysters, yeah? Chef's perk, as they used to be known as in the old days. You used to get them, when they roast the chickens off, the leg would come off, and then 2 little morsels would still be attached to the carcass. You know what I mean? So, like I say, it used to be known as the chef's perk, yeah? So, like I say, you go down, you need to get that oyster out. So you're going through, yeah, and around, and down the carcass. So you're going across the carcass. Same again on the other side. Again, loose skin, cut through it. And then with your thumb this time, pop the knuckle, oyster, through the oyster, up, and then down, like so. So you've got your 2 legs off. So what you should have is a nice groove shape out, and your carcass coming up the parson's nose. Alright? There, excess flesh, so excess fat, don't want that. Because when we make the stock, we want to keep as much fat out of the way as we possibly can, else it'll turn your stock greasy, and then it becomes a bit difficult to get a nice smooth flavour. Alright, right. Another one, if you're ordering stuff, you basically break it through the parson nose and it comes to a natural break in the spine. Right, off. If I was ordering, I just wanted a roast chicken breast from the kitchen, I would order a crown. That's what you get. Basically, the crown is without the carcass, without parsons nose, without the legs. Yeah. So if somebody says it's a crown, get a crown of chicken. It's basically 2 breasts attached to the carcass still. All right. So that's what you do. So for me, next job is the wishbone. Where's your wishbone, Angela? You got one?
Is it your coccyx?
Nope.
Oh, it's your clavicle,
No, collarbone. No, a collarbone.
collarbone,
Yeah.
sternum.
That's a posh word, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a collarbone. Yeah. So everyone's got it, because that's basically, if I was looking at the chicken in me, I'll be legs there, that'll be its head. Yeah, so that's basically the same as yourself. Alright. So basically you get the wishbone out. Alright, so again on the side, feel for it, you'll feel hard the bone there. Chickens, normally, very rarely do you find that the wishbone's still intact. Yeah, It's normally broken. So basically a scratch through, scrape the flesh away, so there's your finger, yeah. Same on the other side. You hear it more than anything else. So now I've got off both. So what I'm going to do is I normally just nick down and nick down. Yeah. So now that's the wishbone. I mean, it's contradicting itself. Normally wishbones are all broken. This one is, for once in its life, home until I stop it now. Can't take. Voila. So here's your wishbone out. Alright, happy days. Why do I take the wishbone out? What's the point and the purpose of me taking the wishbone out?
It's a carpet.
Yeah. Well, if you're roasting, carving, exactly, carving better, or for us, because we're preparing it, taking it off the carcass now, instead of having that and then to one side, if it's a firm wishbone, or even worse, you cut it down and you don't take it out, and the customer bites into it, gets a bloody spike of a wishbone in the mouth, or chokes on it. Yeah, so it's a bit dangerous. So now we've got it. Yeah, so wishbone's out. So now we're basically going to go either side of the breast, all the way down, follow the carcass all the way around, get as much flesh off the carcass as you can. Alright? And basically down to there, you've got the knuckle joint. Yeah? So you've got the carcass and the knuckle joint attached to the wing, through. Nice and straightforward. Yeah? Same on the other side. Get as much of the flesh off as you can. So down. Yeah. All the way down the carcass. Find your knuckle. Job's off. Yeah. Alright. And for me,